Welcome back to News Across Nigeria. In Taraba State, police have foiled an assassination attempt. We'll tell you who this affects in just a moment. We'd like to remind you first that all our top stories can be found on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. We'd also like to urge you to please interact with the Eyewitness feature in the Channels TV app on the Android, iOS, and Windows platforms. If you have pictures or videos you'd like to share with us, tap the application on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and follow the instructions. And now we turn our attention to the northeastern part of the country, Taraba State to be exact. Before we bring you our story on it, let's remind you of some facts about her. Created in 1991, Taraba is called fondly nature's gift to the nation. And rightly so, because of the natural resources that abound in Taraba State, such as you can see on your screen, mineral deposits, including uranium and gold, as well as iron ore, topaz as well, and muscovite. As far as agriculture is concerned, arable crops abound in Taraba, such as cassava, yam, potatoes, rice, cocoyam, cotton, millet, and others too numerous to mention. And livestock takes pride of place in Taraba State because of the lush grassland there. The Mambilo Plateau, famous that is, for being able to graze over 1 million herds of cattle. And the Kumi local government area in Taraba State has exotic African timber, which is said to be able to last for 100 years in the supply of timber. There are over 80 indigenous ethnic groups in Taraba State, all living peacefully, side by side. And the governor, Darius Ishaku. And now to our story proper on Taraba State. The police there have foiled an assassination attempt on the caretaker committee chairman of Wukari local government area. Taraba State Police Commissioner Shaba Alkali, while briefing pressmen on the security situation, explained that 2 suspects were apprehended within the premises of the local government as they attempted to murder him.
Of course, we knew the problem in Wukari, and as soon as they were arrested, I ordered that they should be brought down to Jalingo for thorough investigation. I'm happy that these 2 suspects have been arrested with exhibits and attempted to assassinate the caretaker chairman of the local government. I want to say it here that with these 2 suspects that are already at hand, those who are behind it, they are sponsors. No matter whoever that person is, of course, it's going to be fished out. And by the time we conclude our investigation, if anybody is found involved, of course, will be charged to court.
And to the southwest of the country, an appeal has gone out to the federal and state governments to enforce the law banning the circumcision of girls in Nigeria. This is coming from the United Nations Population Fund, the UNFPA, during a high-level meeting on female genital mutilation held in Oshogbo, the Osun State capital. Now, the country representative of the UNFPA, Radzil Inlovu, and other speakers, including the wives of state governors from the southwest and southeast regions, appealed to the communities to stop the practice, which is tantamount to child abuse. Governor Rauf Aregbesola, who was a guest at the meeting, commended Nigeria's former president, Goodluck Jonathan, for signing the Female Genital Mutilation Bill into law. And to education now, the Universal Basic Education Board in Benue State is setting aside 7.6 billion naira as part of an intervention fund for the reconstruction of the dilapidated primary school structures. The board chairman, Mr. Philip Takin, disclosed this to Channels Television in Makurdi following Governor Samuel Otom's approval of over 3 billion naira counterpart funding of the UBEC projects in the state. Mr. Tachini, who vowed to rid the basic education subsector of systemic corruption, says the board will allow for the funds to the rebuilding of the schools destroyed by Fulani herdsmen in the wake of last year's clashes.
Government, I want that when they listen to school, there's small children when they enter school soon. Like this boy is not going to school to see what they are doing now. The same pure water.
That was the wish of primary school pupils in Benue State when their teachers embarked on an indefinite strike in 2014. For 8 months, Benue State teachers in the state downed their tools to protest the near collapse of the basic education sector. Moved by the heart-wrenching condition of state public schools, Governor Samuel Otom, upon assuming office, promised to revamp the sector. Consequently, State Universal Basic Education Board convened this meeting with education managers and secretaries from the 23 local government areas to gather facts on the state of disrepair. The board members are aware of the task ahead of them, but it's daunting all the same.
In some part of the state, probably there may be some other good structures, but in some areas, actually it's not too good. However, we believe that with the new government, things will be put in shape.
The only challenge is the cost of education reforms and how it will be funded.
Once these grants are matched together, we will have enough resources to renovate the schools, to construct the structures that have been destroyed for some reason. You know, there are some places where there were conflicts with the herdsmen and those schools were totally destroyed. We are going to rebuild them entirely. We have to turn around the structures in such a way that parents and children and everyone in Benue State will be very proud of these schools. I know what has destroyed all these wonderful plans is because of corruption.
Although the past administration attempted some renovation work, Governor Otom believes there is still a lot to be done to upgrade the dilapidated primary schools across Benue State.
From education in Benue State to health in Delta State, the Director General of the National Agency for the Control of AIDS, the NACA, Professor John Idoko, has declared that the HIV/AIDS scourge has dropped to 6% in Nigeria and less than 1% in Delta State. Mr. Idoko, who was accompanied by top officials of the NACA and the SACA, that's the State Action Committee on AIDS, revealed this during a courtesy call to the Governor of Delta State, Ifeanyi Okowa, at the Government House in Asaba, saying that the goal of the committee is to ensure that the deadly disease and other contagious diseases become history in Delta State.
In this state, we have almost over 18,000 people on drugs, which is very, very significant. So we implore you, sir, that if it were possible, if we can put the machinery in place to ensure that, the action committee, which Delta State is transformed into an agency. This will help us because I think it's out of leniency that Delta State has been enjoying the World Bank credit. One of the key requirements that a state must have to enjoy the World Bank credit is that it must transform into an agency. And this is the only state in the country now. We started in 2010, there were 10. The only state that is no longer an agency.
I'm surprised to hear that unfortunately now we are the only state that have not transformed into an agency. It's very, in fact, it's nauseating to truly hear that when we actually kick-started the process. I would like to have the draft of that bill by next week. I want to present it to the House of Assembly latest in 2 weeks from now. Yeah.
of the Delta State Governor Okowa there speaking on action against HIV/AIDS, staying with the health sector, but news across Nigeria crosses over to the southwest now, and Nigeria needs to put in place properly coordinated institutions and policies that support the prevention and control of communicable and non-communicable diseases. This was the crux of discussions at the 6th Annual Scientific Conference of the Nigerian Institute of Medical Research, YABA, in Lagos. At the event, the guest lecturer, Dr. Olaoluwa Akinwale, and the Director General of the institution, Professor Innocent Uja, say that the fact that both disease categories share common features should necessitate urgent action.
We believe that we need to narrow the gap. One, to have a program that is harmonized between the non-communicable and communicable diseases to be able to effectively tackle these diseases, because we do not have enough funds, we do not have enough human resources. So the policy should be harmonized. And when it is harmonized, they will gain experience from those who are specialized in non-communicable disease, those who are specialized in communicable disease, and then we harness this for the better service for our people.
We need to change our unhealthy lifestyle that contributes to the spread of these parasitic infections. Unhealthy lifestyles such as eating with unwashed hands, eating unwashed vegetables and fruits, defecating at every available place, even urinating everywhere. All these habits we need to change such that our environment will not be polluted, will not be exposed to these parasitic infections.
News across Nigeria takes a breather. When we come back, infrastructure in Enugu State plus the internally displaced people in Edo State. Stay with us.